guest is a great First Nations man. He's none other than James Henry, and ahead on the eve of his show, James Henry Times, the Grand Organ. He joins us live in the studio this morning. Tell us a little about the show, and it's great to have you on the show for the first time, Bruz. Good morning, James.
Good to be here. So, yeah, thanks for the invite.
Oh man, no worries. I was a little bit surprised that you had a bit of time up your sleeve first thing in the morning. I know you're a new dad too. Congratulations.
I got the little one. He normally gets up around between 6:30 and 7. So I missed my little morning cuddle, but it'll be a belated one. I'll hopefully get there for breakfast.
I just realised I had you as the Fizz. Let me change that. This is James Henry. What am I doing? That's poor form. Tell us, man. What have you been up to? You are a. Where do you start? Have you kind of created this beast of a thing that people don't really know how to put a label on you? And do you like it? You loving that? Who's James Henry?
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm I guess I'm a freelance creative, pretty much. So I see photography as kind of like my day job. I'm not really doing that much creatively with the photography. It's usually just shooting for clients, and it's all pretty much commercial work. Every now and then I might get a chance to do something which is more of an exhibition, but usually that is because there might be a particular request from a client that needs that kind of exhibition. And with the music is where more of my creative output comes from, and I guess I've got music that goes back to when I was quite young, and it's probably a bit more where my passion lies. So I've got diverse influences musically, and I like just trying different things out. So it's just panned out that way that I've had plenty of opportunities in Melbourne to exercise different musical expressions. What
are some of your earliest memories? For those that don't know, and you are the grandson of the very famous and very iconic Jimmy Little. What's some of your earlier memories of when you say you got brought up around music? What are some of your earliest memories of when music kind of surrounded you?
Yeah, well, I was raised by my grandparents, so I called them mum and dad. So I guess technically they are my grandparents, but to me they were mum and dad. And my earliest memories were Jimmy teaching me a few chords on the guitar. So I think one of the first songs I learnt was "You Are My Sunshine."
Oh, man.
And and then also Baby Blue and Royal Telephone. Yeah, so I remember
a couple of the classics. You hit me in the heartstrings then, James, because I had my mother at my wedding 2 weeks ago. In her speech, got the whole crowd when she dug deep into her earliest memories of me, and she got the whole wedding audience to sing "You Are My Sunshine."
Oh, how sweet!
She used to sing it to me as a
Beautiful.
kid. So
and congratulations on being a married man.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really
exciting
cool.
Times.
Big milestones for us, Braz. Later in life, was that say?
Yeah. No, it's I guess
it's good fun.
I know, like there's a lot to fit in a lifetime. So
yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, man, that's cool. Sorry to take your thunder there. You're talking about earliest memories and some classic tracks there as well. Remember your first gig?
Yeah. Well, this is going back to with Jimmy, Dad, my grandfather. So
you got a few opportunities to play with him.
Yeah. I remember, like going back to, like being 4 or 5 years old, and he would get me up at the end of his set to sing a couple of songs.
Oh, gross.
And that was a bit of a treat. And every now and then, if it would be usually in the car driving somewhere like to like a small country town for an RSL or a country music festival. And then at the end of his set, he would get me up to do sing Royal Telephone with him, and maybe Baby Blue. My sunshine. But then, I guess I really got into sports. I left music to the side for a bit, and it wasn't until my, I guess, early to mid 20s where I started playing gigs and writing songs.
Yeah, right.
But I never really practiced enough to be like a good performer with guitar and singing. But I really enjoyed making music with the computer, and so just put together music, put together my songs, and I found out that that I just really enjoyed the creation of the music and the arranging and that more than practicing. I love performing in that, but I guess I don't practice enough to I guess warrant a performance career.
There's a real difference, isn't there? Well, you could probably speak more categorically about it. A difference between producing music and playing music.
Yeah, for sure. I think it exercises different parts of the brain, and it attracts different people to different things. And I just find that it's quite a solitary experience. Like just because you're there with a computer, so you I guess you have to handle looking at the screen for hours on end. So with that, I ended up just finding that that seemed to tickle my fancy, and as well, like particularly with First Nations mob, there probably not as many music producers and composers as there are performers. So I guess it was a chance for me to slot in and make the most of some opportunities that were out there.
You did Dreamtime at the G opening ceremony back in 2012, an event that probably a lot of people are aware of. I mean, I never thought that there'd need to be a composer. I just underestimate sometimes the end result of what we just sit back in the lounge room and go, man, this is epic. How do you come up with stuff? How do you come up with, so where do you start? Like, is there a consultation meeting, or does some people just go, hey, we need to kind of do something pretty special here? James, can you just take this over, please? And you just go like, whoa.
No.
Where do you start?
Starting point would just be a matter of getting as much information as I can about what is required and what the environment will be, and then just kind of having some kind of seed to then build upon. Usually it starts with a tempo for me. So whatever I might be how do you say that word? Envisaging. Far out.
I can't
say that one.
I'm not even going to try.
Imagining what you might be imagining, like happening there, and then that kind of gives a bit of a tempo and a bit of a groove, and then from there, you just play around on the keyboard for a little bit until you find something that kind of sticks. It might be like chord progressions. It might be a little like a melodic idea or a melodic riff, and then that ends up being that this seed to growing the rest of it. And so I see it a little bit like when you, like if you're building a brick wall, say you might start with a brick, and then what goes on a brick, a bit of mortar.
Yeah, sure.
You can put another brick on. So like each thing, each new thing informs what the next will be.
Yeah. Oh, it's impressive stuff. You're an absolute genius, and I'm certainly not a person that I'd probably prefer to be playing the music instead of thinking about it behind the scenes. But it's a certain brain that super impressed with what you do, and you get plenty of work from it, which is really I'm really inspired by some of the stuff you do. And you've got such a range of stuff. Let's just go straight to this show that you've got on this Saturday. I had no idea, and I've only known you probably personally for a few years, over the last 5 years or so, that you love techno music.
Yeah.
Righto. I've only seen you as, acoustic gigs, folk gigs, guitar in front of you, playing kind of these kind of things. You're doing classical stuff, and then you're like, I don't mind DJing some techno music. It's brilliant. I love it. So tell us a little bit about your journey with that, and and definitely what to expect at this Saturday's show. What are you calling it? How are you calling it? I had a lot of difficulty calling this show. What do you say?
Yeah, so the YIRRAMBOI word is Madanba Mayara.
Aha. And is that
Madanba Mayara.
Yes.
Now, okay, and then they ended up changing that to James Henry X Grand Organ, which maybe the marketing department found that a lot of radio presenters might have had trouble with the pronunciation. And so said, all right, let's just go James Henry X Grand Organ. to be honest, I don't know what the X means either. I'm going to guess it's chimes. It's like it's a mathematical equation. Or it might be James Henry X. I might like the X factor.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I look at that stuff like the verses, like James Henry
Yeah.
just you versus the grand organ looking at you and you're at it just going, come on, let's go, let's put on a show and turn this into a techno party.
Yeah. I guess it's a little bit of a fight anyway. Like because the organ is so it's got a certain sound and certain history to it, and so I'm kind of like trying to work out how I can bring it into the 21st century with these techno sounds, but then also have it be complementary of the traditional songs. I should say traditional style songs.
All right, so the description here is probably, it says the piece brings together James's work over the past 10 years across unlikely genres into a cohesive blend of. People are going to be like super tripped out. Like, if you don't like techno, should you go?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's if you don't like techno, I think it's a matter of it being an experience. I wanted to correct. Yeah, I knew that not everyone is into techno, and so. Like, you might be into organs, or you might be into, traditional Aboriginal singing. So then, there are other elements there. But I think the thing is, it'll be, something that'll be quite unique to check out, particularly with the fellas putting together an amazing light show and that. So. Cool. Yeah, I think for that ticket price you can't go wrong. So, but yeah, definitely like if you if you like techno or you like electronic music, then I think you'll like it even more.
Wow, where does the grand organ fit into it? Are you actually playing the grand organ?
Yeah, I'll play it a bit. So I guess for any music people out there, it works through MIDI as well. So you can send signals from your computer, and then there are 5 different channels of the organ, and so you can program those channels to play certain things. So what I've got is I was also a little bit influenced by Philip Glass and some of his melodic ostinatos, and so I kind of used a lot of melodic patterns, and then tried to blend that in with the I guess the techno grooves and have that all come together. And I think with the with the organ, it's just a matter of working out how to just be that melodic support, and I guess we'll find out today how we can balance what's coming through the computer sound, so like I guess the beats and such, with the acoustic sounds coming from the organ, and then of course I'm going to have to sing on top of that.
Yeah, right. So I think I know what you've mapped. Have you mapped the keys to play different sounds on the grand organ?
Yeah. So there are 5.
Are we talking grand organ
outputs?
Like the big things that like Catholic, like in churches, like
da
like not that one. That's probably the wrong piano and wrong scene that I just went with that. But yeah, those big, massive, like the Simpsons lady, the grandma that doesn't stop playing the grand organ. They're like 5 levels.
Yeah, and this one is the largest in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah. How did you get that?
Yeah, well,
You just ring around and go, who's got the largest? I want it. Like, how'd you land the largest one?
Yeah. Well, they've done other gigs with. I went and saw Bart Willoughby and Nurra Williams. They performed their gigs there, and credit to the City of Melbourne creative team. I guess wanted to have such a great resource be accessible to a lot of other musicians out there, and some First Nations composers to then be able to, I guess, be able to tell some of our stories through it and have our creative input going into this great resource of the city.
So is there any cultural message coming through this? So far we've talked about techno, grand organ, light show.
Yep.
Is that what it's about, or is there what traditional element, if any, is there?
Well, I'll be singing about how the echidna, the biggie billa, got its spines. So there's a story up from where my mum's from, and they've done great work to be able to put together a lot of these stories and translations. So it's a resource there for people wanting to learn the language and that. And so it just happens to be written out in certain parts that seem to fit into the format of traditional songs. And so I put together, I guess, little verses. So you get song lines where songs are made up of hundreds, up to 100 or so verses. But I've ended up making 10 of these like little parts of the story of how the echidna got its spines. So then I guess using that as the root, like just writing these traditional style songs, then I built the other sounds around it. Yeah.
I love it. You're it sounds so cool. Rani Kier is over in Germany tuning into this. He'd love this kind of stuff. And we've got some I guess composers or producers in the listening thing. I know Fred's done a bucket load of producing, but Andy Sorensen up in Mbantwe, he's I don't know if you know Andy, but Matt, this is great. I know you've probably got to head off and get moving, so I appreciate you taking a small chunk of your morning to the small listener base that we've got here. But hopefully it's an absolute sellout. It's down at the Melbourne Town Hall, I think. Is that right?
Yep.
Melbourne Town Hall. That's a huge venue. Is it in the main space?
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. It's got to be with that organ there. So.
Yeah.
I don't have the biggest supporter base, but I think with YIRRAMBOI and also the City of Melbourne, there'll be enough word getting out there, enough people kind of curious to get along, and especially with everything opened up now, it's nice to get out and hear some loud music.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that festival's got plenty of stuff that you can kind of sit and observe. This one's definitely a party. It starts at 8 o'clock. It's at the Melbourne Town Hall, and all First Nations people are free to do the first. Do they still need to book a ticket? Is it still part of that world where we've still got to book?
Not sure. Check the link on that one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the plan is, because maybe like COVID tracing, might be.
Pretty sure, but yeah, it's $10.
Necessary.
Yeah, it's $10 if you're not First Nations. $10 for a 3-hour show, including the largest organ and a light show, and the brothers Sammy and Seth Nolan. It's going to be an absolute jam. It'll be very fun. And to hear some songs about an echidna over techno music, I'm going.
Yeah.
I better liaise with my now wife, because that's what you got to do when you get married. It's 50-50 in decisions. I can't just wander down the street and go to Le Monde. I got to check in and make sure there's milk in the fridge and stuff like that. That's what I like.
Yeah, fair enough.
You get it. My man, there's plenty of listeners. They're going to ask for the link. They're asking for the link to share. So hopefully we can generate some attendance. But brother, enjoy the next 24 hours ahead of your show, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you there tomorrow night.
Yeah, rock and roll. Yeah, no, thanks for the yarn.
Thanks, man. We'll see you soon.
Ciao.